This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Good afternoon, everyone. Shalom Aleichem. Especially my good friend Rabbi Yaakov Grant from Edgeware. We're continuing the Orchos Chaim of the Rosh. We're calling this Madura Beis. That's what the Shevet Musar calls it. This is another Madura of the Orchos Chaim. And in our print, they designated it for Shabbos. And we are up to Ois Yud Beis. One should try to bring peace between man and his wife and man and his friend. Simply, it means you see two people who are fighting, you should try to make peace between them. You see a man and his wife not getting along, try to make peace between them. But even more important, if try to make peace between you and your wife and between you and your friend. The Rav Goldberg quotes the Rabbeinu Yonah in the Gersa Tshuvas Yadalid that Klal Yisrael needs to appoint designated people who are the peacemakers to make peace between man and his wife, between man and his friend, in order to have koyach to be machriach b'nei adam on shalom. And these should be upbeat, happy people who know how to appease others and to make peace. So it sounds like there's some type of obligation, there's like a communal obligation, that there should be designated peacemakers among the Jewish people. So the Rosh is saying an individual should do it, but besides that there's like a communal obligation that there should be such people. Yud Gimel. She yazhir es b'nei beisai ala tefillah. To encourage the household members to daven, val natil sidayim, to wash your hands for bread, val brachas hanenin, and about brachos. We know that women ketanim are also chayv in tefillah. The Gemara says in brachos, and brachas hanenin is part of tefillah. The Tosfos Yom Tov says not only do we have to Tosfos Yom Tov says not only do we have to encourage people about tefillah, but we also have to encourage our families about tefillah b'kavana. So it's not enough to say, okay, Yankee, Beryl, did you daven mincha? It's not enough to daven mincha. You have to encourage them to daven b'kavana. Rav Goldberg cites Reb Chaim Kanievsky in the Parish Hasamar Choisav that in Masechta Soifrim it says one who makes a bracha needs to say it in a loud voice because of their banav haktanim. And the Rosh said earlier in Ois Mem Daled that you should warn, you should encourage Anshe Beizcha to guide them al pi ha-Torah. So in Ois Mem Daled, the Rosh says, make sure you encourage your household to keep the halachos. But the Rosh here tells you which halachos you should be most emphasize: tefillah, netil yadayim, and brachos, because these are the most common inyanim that come up frequently and regularly. Sif Yudaled, sheyifra hatamid b'chol shishi. Pay your regular obligations every Friday. So this is a big question. What exactly are these regular obligations that you need to pay? What does the Rosh mean? Pay your regular obligations. What is this referring to? And the Reb Chaim Kanievsky, in his commentary Hasam Archoisav, he says that this refers to, the regular obligations referred to here, is your kabbalos. If you're makabel to do certain things, make sure that by the time Friday comes, on Friday, pay up. The Tosfos Yom Tov in his commentary, in his Targum, he says, make sure that by Friday you give tzedakah. This way your yoytze, your chiyuv, if you didn't do it in the middle of the week. Now, I believe we had something similar to this in Sif Beis, where the Rosh said, give tzedakah immediately, and at the end of every month, at the end of every year. And here it's saying, well, pay up, and according to the Tosfos Yom to pay up your tzedakah obligations by Friday. But why is it called Tamid? So Rav Goldberg says that a person has to make a cheshbon on all the things that he obligated himself to do regularly, and every Erev Shabbos make a cheshbon hanefesh if you fulfilled them. Included in this is, in our Chaim, Reish Lamed Chesef Beis, the Mechaber says if you have a set things that you learn every day, if you didn't do it during the day, you should be mashlim it at night. And the Mishnah Berurah says because things that you learn regularly are somewhat of a neder. Someone who says, I'll learn this parak, it's like he made a neder. Therefore, if you have chayvos, it's interesting. If you have chayvos on you and you're limudim, meaning like Reb Chaim Kanievsky, you learn a parak a day of Mishnah, a few psukim of Nevi'im, a blad a day of Gemara. If you have chayvos, so at least, if you can't pay back that night, at least you should pay back by Friday. That's what I mean, chayvos. That's how Rav Goldberg teaches it. If you have chayvos, meaning you have set things that you learn daily, at the very least you should try to pay up by Friday. Siv Tezvav. She Yilmoid haParsha b'chol shavua shnai mikra v'echad targum u'perish Rashi zal. You should learn the parsha every week, twice the Chumash, once the Targum with Rashi. Now, in Ois Lamed Zayin, earlier, in Madura Aleph, the Rosh said, finish your parashas with the Tzibur, Shnai Mikra Ve'echad Targum, with Rashi, be medakdek in it as much as you can. Now, it's interesting, Tosfos in Brachos, Adav Ches brings that from the Medrash that Rabbi commanded his children when at the time that he died, don't eat bread on Shabbos until you finish the parsha. By the way, I saw an interesting shaila. We know that that the l'chatchila. By the way, the Mishnah Berurah says that's not ma'akev, and the Mishnah Berurah says don't delay your lunch until after chatzos because you weren't ma'aver sedra yet. But it's a hiddur not to eat the suda until you're ma'aver sedra. The question is, are you allowed to have kiddush before? Let's say you're starving, but you want to fulfill that hiddur. So, from the lashon of Tosfos, it's mashma that you're allowed to. He says, don't have bread. Don't have bread on Shabbos. A bissel kiddush, it sounds like, would be okay, but it's against machlokes haposkim. Now, and the Mishnah Berurah says, if you didn't l'chatchila, if you didn't finish being ma'aver sedra, wake up a little bit earlier on Shabbos day. Now, the Mechaber says, the Mishnah Berurah says, if you didn't finish before the meal, then try to finish before mincha time. Okay, Sif Tes Zayin. Sheyikra Yigeras Hatshuva. Shechiber Rabbeinu Yoina Zal B'Shavua Shiachar Rosh Hashanah Lias B'Seicha. Read the letter of Tshuva that Rabbeinu Yoina authored the week that Rosh Hashanah comes out. Now, why is the Rosh giving a plug for Rabbeinu Yoina? No, they weren't related. Well, why is the Rosh giving? It's that commercial. We have to give a commercial for Rabbeinu Yoina's new sefer, Yigaras HaTshuva. So Rav Goldberg says, because this sefer was divided into 6 parts, and every day you can read one part the week of Rosh Hashanah. Now, obviously, it means if Rosh Hashanah comes out on a Tuesday, you start a little bit before. But it's interesting that one Rishon, like the Rosh, would be giving a plug for the commentary of Rabbeinu Yoina. Okay, we'll hold it over here. We'll continue with Hashem next week. Wishing you bracha v'atzlacha. Shkoyach Yaakov, Kol Tov.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.